Welcome. This is the EKG station and our Zoll station. So I'm just gonna run through the steps. The first question I have is, have you played or used this machine previously?
I don't think they know.
So the good news is that the newer machine is a little quite easier to use. Before we had to use data ports to upload our results, and so it was a little bit more clunky, but now it's a lot smoother. So if the machine is off, you're going to start by powering up the machine, which is already on right now. It's a hard press, power up the machine. You're going to start a new patient. Also good news is that as long as there's an order in, when you scan your patient, it should come right up. And then that will make it easier for uploading, and I'll get to that in a second. So you start by identifying your patient. We have our little scanner here. You're going to start a new patient here. And you're going to get to the patient demographic field. You scan your patient. It takes a little bit to upload. Now that your patient is uploaded, you return the scanner. And then the only manual process here is to put in your username. So your, I don't know, was it ES something? Mine is SF958, so I'm going to put in SF958. And then save. Now we're here. A couple of nice things is the indicators here. Oh, it just disappeared, but there will be indicators here for the tiny human, for our patient population, on where to place the EKG leads. It gives you confirmation when you're in the right space. So down here it's flashing red as you're placing the leads, and I have a little demonstration down here to show you, but as you're placing the leads, it's going to flash green. The other confirmation is on the handheld device here. It will also light up on the chest and indicate where you need to maybe adjust the leads. Judith Lee was gracious enough to kind of give us a little trick to group the leads together, which is nice so that it's not tangled and you can find these leads easily to attach to baby. I know that we don't have pediatric leads currently, but we're in the process of getting pediatric leads, so that right now what the process is that we're cutting them down to size. I think we can do better, so we're going to get some size appropriate ECG leads for our babies. Just to give you a visual, and somebody who likes visuals. So here's kind of what to expect, what it looks like placed on baby, and these are the size appropriate leads that I was mentioning. So at the nipple line for the baby, for leads 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5 is in the far left corner of the baby's chest, and then your limb leads, right arm, left arm, and then right leg, left leg on your limb leads. Over here, I just want to point your eyes here. Here's another visual for baby. There has been some feedback that some people are getting that fourth lead indicator on this side, and also place the fourth lead on the right side of the chest. Okay. All right. I have been polling the audience too. I think in the fall we're going to consider having a very basic arrhythmia class with one of the physicians present to talk about some of the most common arrhythmias we may see, SVT being one of them. That's something that we see very commonly in our patient population, and what the management is, what meds are associated with that, if any, and then some of the more common arrhythmias we may see that we don't see often, but really kind of getting an idea from the physicians what is the expectation from nursing and how we can best support them when we're evaluating for an arrhythmia. So that's questions about the ECG. Okay. It's Wi-Fi dependent, and then you can just upload into the baby's chart. If for some reason, let's say they wanted to get a quick EKG, but the order is not in, the baby's not registered, something to that effect, then you'll print the strip out like we normally would, but then it needs to be saved for the baby's chart, and we would either upload it later if we can download it later, or it gets scanned and put in the baby's media. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Questions about this?
No.
Okay. Now on to my boyfriend, Mr. Zoll. Disclaimer, usually the charge nurses are checking our emergency equipment. When we are checking the emergency equipment, we're making sure that we have the appropriate size pads. In our unit, we have pad sizes for all size humans, just because we have our families, we have adults, we have small children, and then, of course, our patient. The other thing is that if you are delegated the task of checking the ZOL, you're running a ZOL test, and that is documented in the ZOL, so that if Steph said that she checked it on April 16th, there should be a log in here that matches the check for April 16th. So to run a test, you want to make sure that your pads are connected. Also checking the expiration date on the pads and making sure that they're not expired and that's part of the daily check. So seemingly when you go to use it, there should be no expired pads. I just wanted to show you just how we get the pads on and off. It's a little bit of a press here for the clip, and you can pull it out, and then pull it back in. But it's just to show you that it's a little bit tight. So now the pads are attached. You're gonna do run a check. You're gonna click it all the way on.
Attach pad.
Always should have a green check mark in the corner here. If it's a red check mark, there's something, battery is not attached or it needs to be charged. But we're here, we're a full battery, it's plugged in, we're good to go. You're gonna then go down to manual mode. And these are soft key buttons here at the bottom, and they're kind of hard to see. You hit manual mode. And then you're gonna reduce your joules for a test to 30. Okay, hit charge. Administer the charge, and now you're gonna get your confirmation that you ran the test. And you should see where you hit the charge. There you go. Okay, and it's time stamped and dated. The other thing I'm showing everyone, which I think is phenomenal, and I don't think many people know this, there's a code marker. So if you're in a code situation and you have this on, you hit code marker button, and now you have a way to mark the strip on what actions you're taking. So if you are the recorder, or you're somebody, or you're helping the recorder out, and you're trying to get it, as accurate as you can be with recording, they start CPR, and so I'm gonna go back to code marker, CPR, intubation, epi. If you hit more, you get more meds, okay, which is amazing. So we do have that option. If for some reason we're now, transitioning to pacer, you click down to pacer, this little door opens. Again, the doc is gonna be the dictator of what your parameters are, so you don't have to worry about that. And hopefully we don't ever have to use that, but. So that is our ZOL. Any questions about that?